This is the largest Mi TV that's available in India right now. At 65 inches, this Mi TV 4X comes with a brand new panel, some familiar features and a couple of cool new ones. In today's video, let's check it out. Hey guys, Ash here from C4eTech, and if you do end up liking what you see, please consider turning on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Let's go ahead, get started. So what are the big changes here? Well, the one that's immediately noticeable, it's gotta be the build quality. Now the plastic rims from the 55-inch Mi TV 4X, they're gone. Instead, we get sleek brushed metal. The back, now that's still plastic, but from the front, this TV, it looks a lot more premium. And of course, it is also bigger. Now 55 to 65 inches, it's just 10 inches on paper, but hey, it is 10 inches on the diagonal. So it's quite a bit bigger, and here it is side by side with our 55-inch Mi TV 4 Pro. Now that should give you guys some perspective. Once you actually see this TV in front of you, the size difference, it becomes quite noticeable. And it's not just the size that's changed. We have an all-new IPS panel from LG. The colors here are quite vibrant and the contrast is excellent. Exactly what you'd expect from a 10-bit panel. Richer colors and deeper contrast. There is support for HDR10 and Widevine L1. We played some 4K HDR content both locally and from Netflix. The results were impressive for the segment. Now this is definitely a step up from the last generation Mi TVs. And did you hear me casually name drop Netflix? That's my way of saying Xiaomi has finally added Netflix support to their TVs. This one gets it out of the box. The older TVs should also be getting it. Now coming back to the panel, Xiaomi has included a vivid color mode and they've calibrated this using their proprietary vivid picture engine. What the hell does that mean? Now guys, Xiaomi claims it helps them get the best pictures possible from the display. And yes, it does offer punchier colors, but with HDR content, I felt like it was cranking up the saturation a bit too much for my liking. Anyway, Xiaomi does give us a ton of options here to fine tune, so you can actually tinker around with the picture till you find something that you like. Now speaking about options, that is Reality Flow. It takes lower FPS content and then uses dedicated MEMC hardware to bump up the frame rate. This is something Hollywood actually hates, and it isn't something you should actually be using with movies because the frame rate at which the movies are shot is what it should be consumed at. Now with games or sports, that's where it really works well. Now let's move on from video to audio. The Mi TV 4X, it comes with 4 speakers, 2 woofers and 2 tweeters. It produces a total of 20 watts of output. Now the loudness is pretty similar to the older 55-inch models, but what has changed here is how rich this sound actually is. I can notice a clear separation between the highs and the lows, and for a 55,000 rupee TV's built-in speaker, I'd say it sounded quite impressive. And on top of all of this, there is also support for Dolby Audio and DTS HD. So bigger screen plus better speakers, that equals some more immersive movie watching experience. Now speaking of movie watching, I gotta mention Patchwall. For those of you who've been following me for a while, you'll know that I've moved to exclusively an internet-based streaming solution for a few years now. So Patchwall's set-top box integration, that just isn't for me. But for those who own a set-top box, I can see how you'd find it useful. It's quite impressive actually, the amount of work Xiaomi's put into Patchwall over the years. Patchwall comes with previews of live TV shows, all the old favorites like TV shows, movies, music, all these return. Now we also get news. We can choose from a broad array of popular news networks like ABP, Z News, etc. What's more interesting for me personally is that we now have a light theme for Patchwall. This makes all the content stand out a bit more. But even then, that's not gonna change my preference because I'm a lot more used to the Android TV interface. And thankfully, Xiaomi does let us choose between both. This is stock Android TV based on Android 9 Pie, and most of us, I'm sure, are familiar with this interface and what it brings to the table. So I'm not really gonna go in depth explaining what Android TV is and what we can and cannot do here. So as mentioned earlier, we have support for Amazon Prime Video and Netflix out of the box. And other streaming platforms like Hotstar and YouTube, of course, they are supported too. Now, given this is Android TV, we have access to the Play Store, so we can pretty much download any app or game that we want, and Xiaomi even allows side-loading APKs. It's pretty easy. Internally, we have an unnamed quad-core A55 chipset powering this TV that comes with 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of internal memory. These specs, they seem enough for regular streaming apps, and of course the occasional emulator. Now all of these software features, they've largely remained unchanged from what we've seen in the past with other TVs. That said, Xiaomi has included a couple of new features and I think they are impressive, but I haven't had a chance to test them out because they aren't working on my review unit, but they should be working on the retail units. So what are these features? Number one, the data saving mode. It's supposed to identify when the TV is connected to a mobile hotspot, and if enabled, it should automatically change the video quality so that we'd be able to stream for longer periods of time. Interesting, right? Number two, local media share. This should actually allow us to play local files from the phone onto the TV without using data. Kinda like a Chromecast, but for local networks. And oh, that reminds me, we have Chromecast functionality built in here too. And talking about connectivity, we have 5 GHz Wi-Fi as well as Bluetooth 5.0, and we've got a new Bluetooth remote here. And by we, I mean the general public who buy this TV, and not we, us, C4E Tech, because we didn't get a new remote. Our remote got lost. Yes, Xiaomi misplaced it, and they are sending us a replacement, but we didn't get it in time to shoot this video, so we're just gonna show you pictures, but don't worry about it. The remote hasn't really changed all that much. As you can see, there are a couple of new buttons, one for Amazon Prime Video, one for Netflix. These are 2 buttons, I guess, Amazon Prime and Netflix kind of make manufacturers of TV boxes and TVs force them to put them on if their apps are going to work with these for these manufacturers. So that's basically what they've added here. Barring that, it's pretty much the same old remote that you either like or dislike. So let's quickly move on to I/O. So we have wired Ethernet, optical out, AV input and satellite as well as antenna in. To the side we get 3 HDMIs, one of which is ARC compatible, 1 headphone jack and 3 USB 2.0 ports. So that's it for I/O. Let's now talk price. And now for a change, I actually have the price here. The Mi TV 4X, the 65-inch, it is priced at 55,000 rupees. Now that's 15,000 rupees more than the 55-inch version. But for this 15,000 rupees, we are getting a bigger, brighter 10-bit LG panel, a thinner and more stylish metal accented build, richer sound quality, and a host of software features including support for Amazon Prime Video and Netflix out of the box, the 2 leading video platforms. It seems to be a pretty great upgrade, and honestly, if you're looking for something in this price range, if you want a 65-inch TV, the Mi TV 4X, the 65-inch version, it seems like a great option. At least that's what I feel. Xiaomi's had a good track record here. Yes, View and TCL, they do have offerings that are close in price, but Xiaomi, they've had a better track record with support in this segment, and I think it would be the better pick. So that's just me. What do you think? Do you think the Mi TV 4X is the best in class, or is there something else that you would prefer, something else you'd want me to test out? Let me know in the comments below, and if you guys want me to, I will check out something else in the segment, probably do a video. And with that, we get to the end of this video. Thumbs up, thumbs down based on whatever you felt about it. Subscribe, turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, my name's Ash. You've been watching C4E Tech, and I'm signing off for now. You guys have a great day. Bye-bye.